Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. 2023 is far off, but the politics is already ongoing. Southeast is already positioning themselves. Some of them have started the campaign. David Umahi, the governor of Ebonyi State, is already doing internal politics to wriggle out power from PDP in Ebonyi State. And as we speak to you, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is already at it again. And this time around, this is internal squabbles. It takes only the intellectual political pundit to be able to predict what is going on. I'll tell you, if Nigeria remains as one indivisible entity by 2023, the shocks and the waves we'll see will amaze us. But let's find out what is going on within APC that is bringing so much attention on the media. But before we go into the news proper for the analysis, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, penultimate Friday for loyalists of the national leader of the All Progressive Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, met with President Mohammadu Buhari in his Abuja abode. Former Osun State Governor Chief Bisi Akande, who has become a permanent feature of such Tinubu-linked visits, led three others, that's Chief Segun Osoba and two Lagos GAC members, Tajuddin Olusi and Abayomi Fini. They went in buoyant and left gloomy. Wow. Yoruba always attribute post-family meeting despondence among siblings to plain and painful truth shared behind bolted doors. 13 days before the crabby visit, a presidential delegation led by COC and COS Ibrahim Gambari had paid a condolence visit to Tinubu and the state government over the Endsars bereavement, and it should ordinarily be assumed that Jagaban has sent his eminent foot soldiers to thank the president for commiserating with him in both personal and sub-official capacity as the governor emeritus of Lagos. You ask, why wasn't he on the trip as the man who received the presidential sympathy? Do Yorubas not always advise the bereaved to stay indoors? Well, Tinubu wasn't on the trip because it was opportunistic. His camp wanted to explore the so-called economic tragedies that just befell him. During the protest for political capitals, the president may be Fulani, but he seemed to know much about Yoruba warnings against antics. Inibata toja yekpe agbawo okota, because the sentiment is always in favor of one who just suffered a loss. Lagos group must have thought that Buhari's resolve to take charge of the party before his exit from power in 2023, God willing, would be weakened by the emotions of Tinubu being at the receiving end of what he was suspected to have programmed his gang was caged. Before the Endsars tragedies, the president has sent a message to Tinubu. He wanted to take charge of the proposed membership registration for APC faithfuls, and he expected the Lagos strongman to give him full support, the way he, president, also supported him in 2013 when the Lagos Lord was allowed to take absolute charge of the party register, now described as obsolete by the party leadership. The exercise shouldn't be much of a problem, since it should be desirable to know the party's actual strength and measure growth. The only snag here is that the entire party organs from up to bottom are also being primed for dissolution, just like Adams Oshomole's NWC, which Tinubu backed like a rock, was dismantled by Buhari like a house of infamy to pave way for the Mala Buni's that's interim national leadership of the party. The president's resolve is now a major headache for the ones seeking to succeed him, and emissaries are being thrown into it right, left, and center to get the Aso Rock soldier to listen to the billionaire lion who has been deliberately placed on poor partisan diet by his powerful adversaries in the fortress they gently built to provide a political cover for them. Apart from trying to turn the habitation to a cage for Asiwaju, the shares allotted him and the joint venture are being deliberately squeezed to make him uncomfortable to the point of either backing or backing out. None of the options is comforting. The membership registration about to be conducted by the party will shame some leaders who have hitherto used bogus register of the past to confer undue community value on themselves. Since the new one is expected to be digital, too many robs may be in the open at the end of the day. Take the story of its state chapter, for example. During the presidential primaries, Buhari got 1.9 million votes, ostentatiously mainly from party faithful. In the general election, he got 850,000 votes, supposedly from party members and independents. How do you explain that? Heavyweights are going to be paperweights. Tinubu asked Baba Akande and others to assure the president Lagos ESCO needs no dissolution as all is fine and well despite the several court cases in Abuja and Lagos challenging the emergence of Tunde Balogun and his men. In fact, Lagos matter isn't a laughing matter like Baba Akande tried to make it look in the photo op with the president. It is constitutional in nature. It is whether to determine if APC is standing with constitutionality of the existing 20 local government or its leader and its 57, which ends in the rule book. The president was firm in his no. Can we dissolve party organs in 35 states and leave Lagos out? That was rhetorical. A question that gummed the lips of the emissaries when they left the villa. The breaking news of their coming ended with no news, or maybe unpalatable news for the leader. Nothing to report. Now that is certain, Buhari is very interested in his successor, at least the one who would emerge from his party, and is increasingly looking he isn't going to emerge from Bodilon. A fight will soon erupt. He predicts. How did I know that's the political analysis saying? He said, you can't take all away from a man at a go without a fight. Not even a man of God. He will ask God to fight for him, since he can't possibly seek revenge on his own. That the GO, one of the most known doves in today's Christendom, famously said he would ask God to kill anyone that touched his jewel, mother in Israel, Mommy Folu. And Tinubu isn't definitely no dove. He is more of a raptor because he has learned to be a patient destroyer when dealing with powers that could commandeer his economic and political destruction in a blink. What they are trying to take away from him is bigger than Lagos. States without APC sitting governors, where he had joined Oshomole to install palable ESCOs from which he was planning to reap a windfall of delegates during presidential primaries, are about to be dismantled. Almost certainly, his powerful enemies, including those in the National Secretariat, who are biting and blowing breeze, won't allow his friends back as ESCOs on those states. As at the last count, you can't count more than 5 sitting APC governors on his side. Then the Umahi, good luck, permutations, and projection keep coming into APC presidential mathematics. And you expect Tinubu not to fight after his men like Adams, Fowler, and Mago have beaten the dust? Yoruba will say, Eko lo mo korin nkan. Okay, Eko lo mo korin nkan. The courageous always go for the broke. Tinubu will be within range to fight back because his adversaries appear determined to either turn him into a party effigy or add so much fire to the water until he jumps out. The British Parliament Alright, you have heard the permutations. Let's not go into too much talks. You have heard the permutation. Don't forget that Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, when people are talking about presidential candidacy already, some people have started showing interest, like the Ojus Okalos in the southeast, that like the David Omahi from the southeast, even pushing their thing from PDP. Obviously, PDP's calendar, it is the time for the north. All right, but in Nigerian calendar, Nigerians are saying, look, there's nothing time for any north. We just want good leadership, and if possible, give it to a region that have not tasted it, or better still, let it just generally be south. Whichever one will be, whether southeast or southwest, time will determine that. But what in PDP, it's actually the time for the north. For an APC, it's an open ballot, but the southeast are actually gambling and or hoping that they'll be giving it to them. Don't forget that Asiwaju Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu there's this agreement, a written agreement that was done before the present president became the president. He actually pulled weight from the southwest just to ensure that Tinubu, just to ensure that President Mohammadu Buhari took the day, so that of course when it's done, the leadership mantle will be handed over. As it is, way it's going already, it looks as if, just like the pundits, the analysts have said, they actually want to either break him or make him leave the party totally. What time will tell. 2023 is quite a distance, but already the mathematics is on. Let's meet in that comment section. What's your take? Do you think Tinubu will survive this powerful mathematics going on in politics against him, or do you think, as usual, as the Jagaban he is, will he survive this?